masters.
Morning. Morning.
Can I ask some questions for this early bright morning? I mean, it's like, okay lah, actually, to be honest, I'm still half asleep lah. But I always wonder, why do people want to read BaZi? For what? What's there to know in BaZi? What are you going to tell me about like BaZi?
BaZi basically, right, can tell your character.
But I know my character.
Okay, health implication,
Okay,
of course, and your so-called luck trend.
what is a luck trend?
In Chinese, it's called like 运势, which 10 years luck cycle, right, is favorable to you.
So I can go
Because of
casino.
career, all this.
Buy more Toto.
Technically, it's not for this type of gambling.
Oh, okay.
But of course, some people, maybe, certain timing, they got better luck in terms of all these things.
So I can get a promotion that year or got better
Yes,
colleagues.
something like that.
Okay, so you tell me all this, but then why people also ask me like, hey, I see my BaZi already. Must I see again every year?
It will be good to see every year if you want to know like what is the up and down of that year.
But
This is
just
what we
now
call
you said
linear.
you give me the 10 years already, right?
Okay.
So I don't have to see you for 10 years.
Because generally, right, BaZi is very deep. So it's like a book, it's very thick. It's impossible for me to read from page 1 all the way to the end. You get my point? So usually we will see like these 10 years is like which chapter, then we took out maybe a page to read it, which is the year. So every year, right, is like a different page.
So I must still come back to see you every year for more details. But it's not necessary.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
But generally, I will tell people if for the next 3 years, you are generally doing quite well, right? I will not force you to every year come and find me.
Okay, then I'm curious. So you tell me about my 10 years trend. So that's my BaZi. So it's supposed to be very accurate, correct? And then later you tell me my feng shui sucks. Then if you go and see my house feng shui, then wouldn't my BaZi and my feng shui not tally at all?
It will tally in certain extent.
So if you say my luck is down, my trend is down, then you improve my house feng shui. Will my trend still be down?
Of course, if it's supposed to dip, right, it will still drop, but it will not dip so drastically.
So people should still see feng shui and BaZi
Yes.
together or separately, whatever you call it.
Separately. Okay, what I always tell people is BaZi cannot be changed. So how you going to so-called enhance your BaZi, or if your BaZi got some issue, right? How are we going to so-called make the change or improvement is through function? Because you can choose to shift house, or you can choose to rearrange everything in the house, stick in a different position or whatever. So you can change it through that. That's feng shui.
老板, I need to change position again. These few months, no good. Really no good. I tell you, sleepless night lah, terrible night. I need to change position. So
You
okay.
cannot sleep in the toilet.
BaZi problem lah. I tell you, change BaZi lah, reborn again.
I wish, man. Really wish. Wow, that would be the day. So okay. So if you do my feng shui, you say my BaZi like that. That means every year when I revisit, then my feng shui also got to 调 right every year.
Feng shui generally don't need to tell every year because it's for the long term.
But my BaZi changes, right?
Okay, BaZi don't change because your date of birth cannot change.
So what I like to look at it as, right, is that your BaZi is like the blueprint of your life.
Okay.
This is how you tend to act in those certain scenarios, which doesn't change over the years. Yes, technically, Master Go was not wrong. You cannot change your BaZi. As a feng shui master, we cannot change your BaZi. How you can, empower yourself to change that is we tell you on the things to watch out for. What are your patterns? What are the things that you always veer towards to? Okay, and on yourself, that is when you can be more conscious, not to fall into those little traps. So, for example, if I'm someone who always like to be very kanchiong, very anxious, right? Everything also I want to like chong to be very fast. You can see that from the BaZi, and then everything also you want chong to be very fast. That's when we will identify to say, hey, sometimes it's when you always chong. That is when you chong and then you fall into a hole.
Okay.
Yeah. So, your BaZi is just a blueprint on how is it that you do things. Your luck trends is the external surroundings and the factors that's creating that potholes.
So your feng shui can cover up my pothole somewhat.
Yes, so my feng shui may not fully cover up the pothole. Maybe the pothole will be there, but right, maybe you fall into the hole and then you have a helicopter to come and save you. What we are hoping is that by adjusting the feng shui, you will then meet the right people. You will be able to have the right resources such that when your bad luck comes, it's not a pure bad luck where you're dying, but it's a learning experience for you to do better in your good times.
So actually, by right, if I want to see feng shui, I should also see BaZi first because that's when I will know where my potholes are, at what point I'll meet my potholes, so that the feng shui will send in the helicopter. I cannot just do feng shui without BaZi, right?
Through your feng shui, we will roughly know which year you're on the up, which year you're on the down.
Yeah.
So we don't really need your BaZi to do it.
Let me just explain this something very simply. Why we do not need your BaZi to do your house feng shui. Okay? So imagine all of us are fishes. Imagine four of us are fishes. Okay? For us, we have the 20s, we have the 30s, and then we have
the seniors, the pioneers. Medaka.
So as fishes, all you want is you want clean water. You want water full of oxygen. You want some food in the water. Of course, you want no prey in the water. Okay, you want to be eaten up by anyone, right? Or predators. Predators. We're not going to be the prey. We're going to be predators. Okay. So, regardless when are you born as a fish, you want the few critical things I just mentioned: water, food, oxygen, and no predators.
And good friends.
We are good friends. Okay. So that is environment. So I've always stressed very clearly: environment is feng shui. Feng shui is the environment, basically geography. Correct?
Right pond, right water.
Yeah. So why we do need your BaZi? Because regardless when you were born, you want good stuff in your environment and not bad stuff in your environment. So, but unfortunately, in reality, we cannot adjust everything that's outside our house, where the police station is, where the library is. Of course, we can select better places, avoid prison areas, avoid the
cemeteries.
Exactly. We were talking about this yesterday about
cemeteries.
Yeah, exactly. So of course we can move to hawker centers, near hawker centers, So why we don't need parking? I explained very clearly. Regardless when we were born, you need good environment. Period.
Okay. So feng shui comes first.
Feng shui always comes first.
So BaZi is additional information.
So if you study the history of BaZi is only what 800-900 years old. Feng Shui has been around since the humankind. Human beings have been looking for places, better cave, better shelter, all their life.
And there's a lot of logic behind feng shui actually.
Yeah. So if you remember when I came back from Inner Mongolia, I visited the Inner Mongolia mountain show.
Yes.
And in the Mongolians has been living like nomads for hundreds and thousands of years. They're very traditional to their way of living. But you realize that, what do you call that? How yurt, is it? Yurt. Yeah, Mongku Bao yurt. Yurt is always placed in a way that the main door is facing the southeast.
Because of the wind factor?
Not just that. Wind factor is not the main thing because yurt has no windows. So if you place at the southeast sector, you get the best of the east sun all the way to the west sun. The sun comes into the house. And that environment, that's survival. It's so cold. It's common sense.
Yes.
Exactly. And they always try to be in the lower land, where a bit higher knoll on behind. Can be a few inches, can be a few cm, can be a few meters, it's okay. So that the wind doesn't come from behind.
Last time all my auntie will tell me, 买屋子要买高高的，不会震水。
No, exactly, you're wrong.
要买 low ground 的。
那你会涨水啊！
In Singapore, right, you see all the flooded area, right, all the rich people area, Orchard Road.
Orchard always
Bukit Timah.
Bukit Timah, yes, a few.
Yeah.
Master go of moderation not too low also lah.
So that's the reason why, as based on the Mongolian way of lifestyle, that's feng shui. Feng shui is survival, getting away from the wind, getting away from the rain. But you must have water, you must have clean air, and of course you must have green grass for your animals, etc.
Sunlight and everything.
Yeah. So that's the primary Well, that's how feng shui derived and become what it is today. Of course, we get a bit more complicated. People get a bit more, superstitious, religious comes involved. Before that, that's enough.
So does all this change because we are city dwellers, stays in an apartment, we are stuck on top of each
Of
other?
course. That's the reason why if you practice feng shui, that's the original traditional feng shui, it is easier for you to adapt to modern lifestyle. So what is modern feng shui? Modern feng shui is using the principle of original feng shui, and then convert it into the elements. For example, the lamp behind you is fire. The TV beside you is fire.
But who decides the lamp is fire?
The lamp shines out, and in the past, how do people light up and see things in the dark?
That's what I find very interesting. It's like, for example, a few hundred years ago, there's no iPhone, there's no tablets.
Yeah.
So, but all these are also classified, right?
Fire.
So it's always like an association concept. Actually, it's very interesting that you're talking about this, because if you think about a similar bucket, right? How humans make sense of things, we make sense of it with the different concepts, and then after that, in our brains, right, what we do is we find something that's the most similar. So, analogy, for example, for feelings, right? What do you feel when you're anxious about something? Your heart will start racing. You feel this something in your stomach.
Yeah, butterflies in stomach.
Correct. So this is what you're feeling when you're anxious about going to let's say you're anxious about starting your new job, for example. Another scenario where let's say you're anxious to meet someone for the first time, then you just get the butterflies in the stomach, but you don't really get the racing feeling, but you also get this certain dryness in your mouth. So how do you know that these feelings of anxiousness are actually both being anxious? It's that concept and your body sort of able to react. Correct. Who says that I'm seeing similarities here in this specific scenario. That's why both of these come under the concept of anxiety. Yes. For let's say why is it that's the fire element? It's also we know what fire element is. Fire is something that burns. Fire is something that's bright. Fire is something that's very visual. So what else burns? What else is bright? What else is visual? What else is like the sun? Your lamp is pretty much very like the sun. You see similarities. It's very hard for me to quantify in very ABCD terms. Oh, if you follow this rule book, right, this means that it comes under that category. But that's the beauty of humans. You see the different concepts and then you realize that, hey, all these are actually coming under the same concept, and you can make associations to say this is a fire element.
So there could be also misclassification or misinterpretation. So I can end up with having different masters telling me different things because of different approach or different viewpoint, isn't it?
This is very common.
Yes.
It's just like from Pasir Ris to Jurong, there are different ways to go there. You not necessarily have to choose this way to go there. Some people might have to go the longer way. Some people might have to go the expressway. Some people want to go by the road that have a lot of traffic lights. That's like that.
Okay. So how do I ensure that to know that every approach is correct? Or how do I know as a layperson that, oh, this is actually what you're saying that is, in feng shui term, correct, a correct application?
So that's why what we always do is the validation method, right? When we start advising you in terms of what we put where, etc., it's not just a pure, just put this here, put this there. What we do is we understand from you, we validate what has happened in the past. That gives us the assurance.
Okay, like a platform.
Yes, to do that validation, to know that what we are seeing is actually something that's accurate.
Let me give you an example. So a few months ago, there's a nice lady who called me up, and she said she wants to decide whether she just spend money, renovate out her current HDB flat, or should she move.
Okay.
So she wanted me to tell her whether this is a good flat to stay in until she, at the end of her life, she's already going to be retired soon in a few years' time, or if it's not good, and let's do a house hunting straight away for her. She's not going to waste money renovating the house. So after reading it, her property, very quickly she said, Master, I think I more or less made a decision. So what happened was, there was a few schools in the northwest sector outside of the house. Okay. So I asked her a few things. I said, was a particular year not very smooth? She experiencing migraine constantly, and then she says, to my horror, she said, actually, Master, I'm very upfront with you. when you say wasn't migraine constantly, it sort of hit the jackpot. I actually am a walking time bomb. I have a brain tumor in my brain, that is going to sort of explode or whatever in any moment or without any warnings.
Okay.
And I told her, I think she has to move. She says, yeah, that's the reason why I said I more or less pick up my position, that it's not a proper place for me. And I told her very frankly that the place that she's currently had on the certain level, I also have a client who had the same problems, brain tumor, operated, and then she can't see up her function.
And she's still staying there.
She's fully recovered.
So does it mean everybody who has a school in the northwest will more or less have some hip issues?
No. Let's just put it this way. Birds of the same feathers flock together. Okay? Yes, so feng shui can address to a certain extent to buffer the impact on you. You must also understand, people say the same block do not have the same floor plan, do not have the same status at home. Like for example, you are a mother, there are some people at your age are not even mother yet. You
And the items they put around the house.
And the items they
very
put around the
different.
house is different. So all this has a part to play. So I see that there are people who comment, master, your talk. How can the whole? No. I see generally at birds of the same feathers flock together. Let's put it this way, people in Bukit Timah generally a bit orang kaya lah, a bit money lah. Okay? That's just correct. Affluent, correct. Yeah. People who go to certain restaurants, big restaurants, so tend to be able to afford a bit more stuff in life. I'm not saying that people go to a hawker center not rich, but if you happen to drive a certain big car, you tend to be in a certain category.
Yeah.
Correct. Let us, or you travel in the first class. Let us put it this way. So when she told me that she has migraine, I said, that's really, you should move. She threw me a very interesting question. Master, can miracles happen? So I told her very bluntly. I said, if your whole life is determined not to be shot by a handgun or any firearms, for heaven's sake, do not go to the place now.
Okay.
If you want miracles to happen, please allow miracles to have a chance to happen.
Okay.
Don't put yourself in harm's way and then tell me, please miracle happens. It doesn't work that way. Common sense. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Okay. After all, I'm human beings. I'm not God. Do not ask me to do God stuff. I think there's a lot of problems with a lot of masters out there who portray themselves as God.
And actually, even for God, I know in Christianity, there's this very common saying, right? I mean, I grew up in a Catholic school. They always say, God will not help you unless you help yourself. Even the same, whether be it whatever else, right? Feng Shui also has that limit. You also need to,
do your minimum.
Yes.
Okay.
You are the 42nd, 72 generations of Christianity in your family.
Yes.
Okay? So let me ask you something. Are there no death in your family?
Of course, it's natural.
Are there no illness in your family?
Of course, we're not vampires.
Exactly. Feng Shui masters are also human beings.
Okay, so back to earlier, you said about birds flock together, birds of the same kind flock together. So can I take it like signs from my neighbors? If suddenly all my neighbors starts for example, everybody start having big cars or renovation, and I'm not the only one, does that mean that, hey, this is a sign telling me that my feng shui is off?
Let me just point you a very interesting question, interesting scenario that happens. I remember during the SARS period, there was a block in Hougang that happens to have all the COVID. Not SARS, COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we did a show on this,
Yes,
and then
yes.
I went to investigate why just this particular stack and things like that. You remember that?
It's a lift butter
And
and
that
on the
only-
toilet.
yeah, the particular stack.
Yeah, the
Is
silver
it
chip.
cheap, no?
They have a rate now, I don't remember, but I realized something that's very scientific, okay, that I can't explain at that time until I realized this, it was at the cross path of the flight path. The flight, that stack of unit has the direct flight path of an aeroplane flying across. And then we take the rope on the compass and realize that it's how many things? Chong.
The Lu Chong.
So
Yeah.
Lu Chong is what teacher taught us in school.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
Fei Ji Chong, that time I got Fei Ji.
Ancient time.
Ancient times of
No
Fei Ji.
more, but
So-
we are human, we will try to find excuses to fit in, like the sewage pipe, the water
No, correct.
pipe.
So it's all energy, right? Flying, everything is all force, it's all energy. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're not modern enough, if you read the old books and stick to the old books, I tell you,
Everything
the
is...
toilet is outside the house.
Yes,
Correct?
it's
Our house is toilet house. Our
Yes.
house.
I don't want
Yeah.
to house.
Correct. Imagine you got to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, you got to take the lift down 10 floors, walk across the street, use the public toilet and come back again. And if you're
Destination.
yeah, so you really need to keep up with time.
Mm.
So in short, modern feng shui is really for current situation.
Okay, you do that for our current lifestyle.
Buying crystal,
Mm.
buying ornaments are not traditional feng shui, are not original feng shui. Because 8,000 years ago, nobody has a factory to go and make all these ornaments for you.
Honestly, they are not even feng shui.
Yeah,
It's more like house decoration.
Yeah.
Mm.
To answer your question, if your neighbors are start making renovation, etc., is it going to affect you? Of course, it's going to affect you. You drive. I know you just paid. I know you just paid the full cash for it for your vehicle. So I know you drive.
Mm.
Okay. When you collect a brand new car, your brand new Beamer, we go to the car park. Would you like to look for a parking lot that is free of cars, or would you like to have a parking lot that's next to some very expensive cars, more expensive than yours,
Yeah.
or would you like to go to the car park that has lorries and pickups, van that's unloading, uploading?
No, the second scenario sounds safer.
Yeah.
Feels better.
Feels better.
Yeah.
But because the empty lots, you don't know who's going to park beside you.
Precisely.
But the expensive car, you will take care of their car more than they take care of your car.
Precisely.
You
At least
won't
you
worry
can
about
open the door.
Exactly.
Just bang.
Exactly. So the last, well, again, not belittling. It's just that it's real now.
Mm.
Everybody loves their cars. Car is so expensive in Singapore.
Very.
Correct. So same thing when you find a place to stay, you also want to find a surrounding that is good, better than you. You want to find places that they are taking care of their house, they're taking care of their flats,
So I must find more expensive places.
No.
Nice neighbors.
Of course, you have your own
Budget.
affordability and things like that.
But I want to, keep improving so that I can afford better places, right?
So I have a concept for you. Always find a place that you are not the richest among them.
Why?
And you must find a place that you are not. Sorry, you want to sorry, let me say that again. You must find a place that you are not the richest among them.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
You have suck at energy. Simple as that. If you're the best car among all the 10 lorries that's uploading, what happens? Who's the one that's going to be worried all the time constantly?
Me.
Yeah. But you're the worst car among all the Rolls Royces, what happens?
Okay.
They worry about you,
Liabilities.
etc. So same thing, when you find a place to stay, try to go to a neighborhood that you are not projected as the most richest.
Okay.
And of course, you are also going to be projected as not the worst.
Okay.
Okay, but I'd rather be the worst and the rest are rich than I'm the richest, the rest are poor.
So it's like peace of mind as well.
Really means energy is better.
Ah.
So the next thing is, a lot of people ask me, I don't believe in feng shui. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in this. Perfectly fine. We are not here to convince you to believe or not believe. But asking something, when you go out on the road and it's raining, what do? You get an umbrella.
Makes sense.
Umbrella is basically concept of feng shui. Because it's raining, you get wet without something sheltering you.
Okay.
So an environment, we cannot control the environment. We need something to help us.
Protect ourselves.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Actually, I do like the umbrella analogy, because if you take that one step further, right, just because you have an umbrella doesn't mean that you won't get the occasional splatters.
Yeah.
But the occasional splatters is definitely much better
Minor
than
and I can manage it.
Yes.
Yeah. It won't affect me like, walking in the rain. Okay. I'm doing my house feng shui again. Just in case I miss out. Just in case I miss out certain things that you said the last
I have to
time.
pay money.
Call Wendy for an appointment.
Yeah, ask Wendy.
Call Wendy.
I will fix appointment and then when I bill myself, how I will pay it? I pay in kind.
So there's another.
The
A
same
lot
way.
of people have this misperception. After I see feng shui, all be perfect. No.
I remember, the pothole will still be there, but maybe not.
I remember Master KK's sentence to me sometime back. He was like, 过马路也是要看车的。
对, yes, I always remember
that is
yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
The up and down of life, right, is fixed.
Yeah.
It's
We are
impossible that
We have a perfect life.
after you adjust the feng shui, right, there won't be up and down. It's
Mm.
impossible.
Yeah.
Because if a graph is straight line, right, means you're big.
I mean, we had this chat last night also. It's really about learning how to ride that wave, right? Because your low periods are periods when you actually do really learn a lot. It gives you that life experiences such that you are able to enjoy and
The highs.
yes.
And know that this is the high,
Yes,
so just appreciate it.
Correct. And if you read into a lot of those scientific research, they talk about emotions and everything else. It's precisely the negative emotions that makes the positive emotion all the more fulfilling, and that entire life a rich and very fulfilling life.
I understand.
So if you read your BaZi and you realize that you have business mind, you can do good business, you are going to be successful in business, and then you start taking your handphone and you stay at home the whole day, play your handphone game, you watch through, etc. Don't do anything productive.
Master, everybody also got business.
Yeah. Apart from that business, you tell me you think that would make you a very rich person?
Of course not.
Yeah. So you still need to work.
Okay.
Like what Master Sharon always says, feng shui is to create a ball, a football, right at the penalty kick, without any goalkeepers. But you still need to kick the ball.
I still have to work for it.
You still
Yes.
need to. The second part of the process, see feng shui really everything perfect. So there's something we call habits. I think all masters will tell you when we read your house, when we validate. For example, we validate was there particular things that happened in particular year for that particular person or particular body part that's not feeling well, etc. So we validate. And then you say, yes, that's the reason why we know this particular thing is positive energy or negative energy to you.
It's like your
Okay.
trend.
Yeah,
So
really
it will
happen.
keep happening to me.
So you have a habit of keep sabotaging yourself.
Okay, so I still must always seek self-improvement to manage this part.
So if you ask any gym instructor, if you ask any coach, life coach, etc., they will tell you, you manage your mind. It's not the body. It's easy to train the body. It's very good to train the mind.
I've been constantly reminded for the last couple of weeks.
I met a very old marathon runner in Singapore many years ago. He's 70 years old. He runs the marathon. He's not there to compete against the crowd. He's there to compete against himself. It is day in, day out, 365 days a year, 7 a.m., get up, go to the
Discipline. So that brings me back to I still should know my BaZi so that I know about myself better to control my mind or improve myself, isn't it?
So okay, so that's right. How I see it, right, is that I'm looking at this thing, okay. BaZi gives me one angle of it, feng shui gives me another angle of it. Does not mean I'm looking at a different thing. Does not mean I cannot see some things that the BaZi is also able to tell me.
Okay.
It's just that different angle that I'm looking at. And for us, what we do believe is that by taking that single point of the angle of feng shui, we're able to extrapolate, we're able to fill in the picture, we're able to see almost the full picture,
Okay, so
which starts with a good enough base. Is it a perfect base? I won't say it's a perfect base. Are we trying to seek perfection? Maybe not, but it's good enough for now.
okay, so you were saying, okay, if it doesn't cover the full entire sphere, what else can I do? Are there any other means like what? Divination, numerology, tarot cards?
The question then becomes, do we need to cover the entire sphere?
You will never be able to cover the entire thing because your life is so long. A year is 365 days, you are 50 years old. How many days are there? It's so long. You are able to cover every single day.
So feng shui is a good start for foundation to get my life more or less
Stable.
within the best control that I can.
Yes.
Yes.
And then perhaps know a bit of myself, my lifestyle.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, that's interesting. I enjoyed myself.
I
And I'm hungry.
reiterate what Master Shani, I totally agree with what she said just now. What do I want to say now?
About knowing everything?
Yeah, right.
The necessity.
Oh, right. Primarily because the conversation was too interesting that I slipped my mind. Master Sharon always mentions something very, very simple, which I explain to people in the layman terms. Why is your Chinese name so important? Why is your date of birth so important? Which is your BaZi? Why is your telephone number so important? Which we can read your characters, etc. I think Master Eric has displayed that many times. Your phone number can tell you so many things about characters, etc. So imagine I blindfold you and I put you in front of a very big elephant. Okay? By touching the trunk of the elephant, can you tell me what's the color of the elephant?
Of course not.
Exactly. So by touching the trunk, probably you just feel the name of this person. Can you know the whole spectrum of your life? Cannot. You only know that quite big on the trunk, skin quite rough, maybe a bit hairy. I don't know. I've not touched an elephant before, you know. But can you know the gender of the elephant? I don't think so. I'm not an expert. I generally think I
how old
know.
the elephant is, or how smart the elephant is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or whether it's maybe you can tell for the skin. Expert probably can tell you that this is an Asian elephant compared to the African elephant, you know, etc. But you don't see the whole spectrum that we get.
Right.
So same thing. If you use your name reading, you just know a spectrum of your life. If you move your BaZi reading, it's another spectrum of your life.
So does it mean if I change my name, I will also improve my life as well?
Generally speaking, of course.
You want to change your name?
Can it? If it helps me with my
Hold
life,
on,
of course.
let me give you a bit more, get you a bit more excited. You can put tattoos in your body to change your life. You can
Really?
You can do aesthetic to your face to change your life. You can do your name to change your life. You can do your telephone number, especially salespeople. If your sales is not good, maybe your telephone number is.
Yeah, I heard about that
Yeah.
before.
You can
Etc.
find a rich
With
husband.
clients.
Yeah. So you can say again.
You
No,
can
no,
find a
no.
rich husband or find a rich wife
Yeah.
to change your life.
You can change your
Hey,
clothes that you wear
on
to
that
change your
point,
life,
right?
etc.
Your
etc.
spouse really does change your life also.
Your
Yeah.
spouse
The
change your
people,
life?
yes, the people
Your
that
partner.
you choose to surround yourself with, the mentors that you choose,
Your
that also
friends.
change your life.
So if I remove myself from my spouse, his life will also change, is it?
Definitely.
For the worse, for the better, we don't know. Yes, you can change.
Anna, okay. Oh,
For who's better or for who's worse, we don't know yet. So
okay.
that will see.
So I have to change my name, change my phone number, I'm going to change my...
Face.
Change your
Yeah.
everything.
I already cut my hair already, doesn't that change the look?
What about, I don't know anything about hair. I'm quite ignorant about hair.
No, I thought that's why you chose to have your head
If
full of hair.
anybody have a chance to have head full of hair, wants to shave, no choice, right?
No, it's
三
more
个人如果是
serious.
什么要做需要做处理，
没有嘛，不一样的形象 I thought it's for image. Okay, so I will start changing my name and phone numbers. Okay, on. Anything that can... Anything else I can
Listen,
do?
of course, nothing will change if
But-
your mindset don't change.
Yeah, but my mindset is changing, so that means I'm getting all these extra pillars as reinforcement, so to speak.
Yep.
Right? Start with feng shui, BaZi, names, anything also can.
Again, let's talk about fishes.
Mm.
I'm not so sure anyone here has not reared a fish when you're young.
Have lah.
Sure got
Ah, 甲鱼
I think
so
so.
whatever lah. Somehow rather you should rear fish lah.
Ah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Precisely.
fish will fall ill. So if you ask any aquarium owners or fish lovers or fish lovers are not the one to eat the fish, but rather people who grow and
Ah.
you know, what do you do when your fish is ill?
I don't know,
For
medication.
medicine.
No, you don't. You first you take them out and quarantine them in somewhere else.
Away from the rest.
Away from the rest.
Right, okay.
And
that
then
makes
you
sense.
give good water to it, make sure there's oxygen, and then you start giving them medicines. Correct or not? So same thing, if you feel that currently your life is not the way you want it to be,
Right.
change the environment. Move away. Get out of it. Change to a more positive environment. Change to a more vibrant environment. For example, I don't think anybody is going to be very negative if they keep going to places of worship, for example, the church or the mosque.
Or meet good friends,
Exactly.
cheer you up, have a good drink, have a good
Can
meal.
you imagine why people want to go to the worship place for the mosque or the church or when it's full of negativity? No. So if you're negative, what do? You go to places that are positive. Now, we all know you're 你是书香子弟 whole family study very well. Okay. Imagine you have 3 children, all top students, which they are all top students. Okay, you put them in the worst class. What will happen to them?
Play truant.
Exactly. They will learn the bad habits, etc. almost immediately. But if you take the worst students in and put it in the best class,
I'll
when
find
all
the
are
library.
studying your bookworms, what happens?
I'll find the library.
Yeah, nobody will play with him. What happened? He somehow rather his grades will improve. So it's the environment that's important.
Master Shelly, let's move. Milan, shopping paradise.
Let's go.
Dubai. Dubai got lots of rich, what crazy rich Asian.
You need a rich boyfriend first.
也是等
That's
等，
crazy
满街都
rich,
是，
crazy rich Arabs.
满街都是。You never specify what,
If but that
right?
one then cannot dress up one, they must wear.
No, internally we can dress up. Female party we can dress up.
Oh,
Then after the makeup you
yeah lah.
so you can wear makeup behind your
What? Then you don't have to worry about my makeup not done perfect.
No.
Just
They
cover your
do.
face.
They still do
They
their
still do.
makeup very
They still sell the makeup.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably using all the Chanel.
They still need to show their boy, the husband of it. They still need to show their husband the beauty stuff. Come on.
Okay, let's find a good and positive environment for this.
That's important. So I always tell people why it is so important that you find a good house, do a proper house also. When you buy a proper house in Singapore, it's not like going to buy a pair of jeans. Wrong with it, throw no.
It's so expensive
Houses are so expensive. Now let's take the analogy of buying a pair of jeans in the mall. You go in, you just pick it up and go.
No, you try.
No, you first
Stretch.
select.
Yeah.
First you check whether this is the right design or the latest design you want. Then after what you do, you check for
Defects.
actually before you check for you check for size first.
Yeah, you try. Yeah,
Can fit around
you try. Yeah,
Exactly.
Color,
So your
everything, yeah.
mommy taught you how to find your good pair of jeans for yourself. Of course, first time you go shopping is your mommy or daddy, you know. So who is going to advise you on starting a house? Exactly.
Then,
So my auntie told me my mountain must stay the house above the
on
mountain.
top of the mountain,
So I'm
yes.
asking your auntie some kind of famous.
No lah,
entrepreneur,
she's
yeah?
my auntie
Yeah,
lah.
exactly your auntie lah. So
Yeah,
when you have cooked egg, who you ask? The fishmonger or the dentist?
That's the chicken.
That's why I have to be a cheapo and go to the fishmonger for my
Secondly,
toothache.
a lot of people have this question. My agent told me. Now, this video going out, a lot of agents going to hate us, but I'm just stating the fact. Agents are doing what agents have to do: close sales, sell the property, or rent the property. What happens to you after that?
业代机。
In fact, you don't want the house better, then you can sell again.
For 3 years, I think I'll be 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And will be there.
Yeah.
So the developers as well is doing the same thing. Everybody that's selling you something will portray the best.
Of what
Side.
they are, that
Yeah.
is served.
You agree with me?
Of course,
We are all salespeople.
it's normal.
We portray the best part of,
Yeah.
Are there bad things about poultry? Of course. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
you cannot put what you want.
You
lor.
know, Your design maybe
I
will
have to
be.
leave my color choices to you,
Yeah.
even probably.
Yeah.
But it's actually to what extreme I want to actually carry out, right?
How far you want to change? You know, if your mother tells you eating vegetable is good for you, and then you, oops, let's step on the.
The tourist.
Yeah. So what happens if you don't like vegetables, but you know vegetable is good for you, and you know you have constipation, and you know the vegetables and fruits is going to help you in a certain way, what are you going to do?
Alternative.
No, but there's also, I think within our feng shui also, it's not us just telling you straight that, oh, you must eat vegetables and it's only vegetables. You know, we have
Replace
vegetable
with
stew, we
Yeah.
have, you know, vegetable shakes. There's a lot of that
Ah,
variations along the
juice.
line.
I think
Give you a few
Not-
alternatives.
Correct. I totally agree with you.
Yes.
Yes,
There's
okay,
alternatives.
so it's not one hard
Yes.
fast way, my way or the
Yes.
highway.
And Wendy, I think you should know very clearly what we always tell a client.
Mm.
If you step in a house that we have feng shui, and you can point out one thing that is feng shui, we fail.
Okay, only have one. Why every room in my place have a wheel? That's the consistent.
I think that is a very good question.
That's a design.
Yeah, I
Theme
love
of the
those.
house.
Yeah.
So the wheel, I think what happened was in the year 2020,
Mm.
we had COVID.
Mm.
So everybody is locked at home, and then miserable time for. I think the whole world was miserable. I think a few people are happy. I think pharmaceutical company are happy,
Koreans are happy.
and Koreans are happy, you know,
But
etc.
others are
etc.
happy, yeah.
But majority, I think 90% of people are
Terrible.
terrible, facing a crisis, you know,
Yeah.
it's a
Maybe
pandemic.
prisoner.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't go out and see feng shui for clients, we help our customer how to improve their life, etc.
Mm.
So we sat down and had this very deep discussion, Master Chef, what should we do, how to help people. And then the year 2020, we all know is the year of the rat. And by the way, every time the year of the rat comes, the crisis.
Calamities.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I did a show on it. I showed what happens. You know, World War II just started the year of the rat, you know, etc. etc. There are many, okay? You can watch the videos you have in YouTube. And then we will sit down and then we were thinking, how can we help people to address the atrocity, get away 2020 better. Year of the rat is water. Okay, what produces water? Metal element produces water.
Oh, okay. I was
You
saying
give me
clouds.
That's right, the five elements,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
So
Metal.
metal produces water.
Mm.
So if you have water in your house, for example, a painting of a waterfall, you can also put it in a north center. It's also very good. You don't have to use a wheel.
But it has to be in the north, right?
They have to be in the north center. So we thought about it. Initially, we thought, can we use Jesus? Because Jesus is metal element. But then again, not everybody is Christian.
Oh,
And then modern feng shui don't talk about religion at all.
right.
8,000 years ago, there's no religion, there's no written language, there's not even plantation. You are still gathering and hunting, remember, and fishing.
Okay, yeah.
So then we thought, can we use pig? Because pig is also water. Then we thought, no, we can't, because we have Muslim friends. This is not right.
Okay.
Elephant is a big animal. Elephant is metal element. Put elephant in the water. Yes, elephant do swim in the water, but it's very awkward. Fair enough.
Oh, so that means I have choices. So if I'm a Christian, I can put my cross
Yeah, you can
or
put
my picture
or
of
can
Jesus.
put father there. Yeah.
Or if I like elephants, I can put elephants. So
Yes,
it's not
you can.
just a whale.
Yes, so then we thought, if we put a whale,
Mm,
the largest mammal
mm,
in the world,
mm,
it's a huge metal element
mm,
producing water.
mm,
And it's also quite nice.
mm.
And that's why we went out and promote to the general public, you should do this.
I see.
And then a lot of people say, Master, no printer at home, came back lockdown already, you can ask your children to draw.
Yeah, my niece drew one for me.
Yeah, you can ask your children to draw, you can be very creative about it. So I have people drew and then they put pictures onto the Facebook to show us, etc. etc. And we got tons of testimonies, like literally tons of testimonies coming back to us, they benefited.
So the water, the whale, all this, actually how did it actually help us? Is to type through all this.
It's to strengthen the sector.
So North sector represented by water element. The yield the red represent by water.
But next year is not year of the rat anymore. Can I still keep it?
You still can keep it because we have 12, so you have 12 sectors of time, season.
Uh-huh.
So between midnight 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. is still the north sector, is still the water element sector.
So it's still applicable lah, regardless.
All the remedies we explain to you or ask you to do can be there forever.
Okay.
And it's not going to
Upset
if you could affect and then upset your other family members, no.
Okay, so it's generally harmonized to everyone.
Of course, certain times when it's critical, our masters or myself will tell you to use certain animals in the job zodiac to place in a certain way. Get your picture, can you just print out from the Google for a certain time to address a certain critical situation. But then we'll ask you to remove it. So hence we do not want to advise you to place too many animals at home.
Okay.
Or in fact, every time you buy anything, try not to have animals at home. Be toys for your children, be bed sheet for
My
your
dogs and
children.
my cats.
They
They
are
are real animal.
Oh.
The-
Oh, okay, sorry.
We are talking about
So can have
toys,
hamsters, all this.
figurine
Okay.
or pictures.
Displays.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I saw BaZi. Okay. Okay. Understand. That clarifies a lot. After 2 years, I'm still learning. After 3 years, I'm learning.
And that's why we never do them.
Yeah.
We should give you tests.
We need.
Oh,
She's
please.
the one doing the billing lah.
She never do herself.
No, I just bill myself accordingly. Then I just 100% discount.
We should give you tests and exam.
Oh, if I pass all my tests, then I'll deduct off.
Because you are scholar family, right? So you have to
Not me lah.
so you have to go through the proper way of learning things, proper education
Oh, my
system,
youngest will
textbook
not
also,
agree.
master.
textbook.
But I don't write
okay.
textbook ah.
I got a lot of notes.
I don't mind reading those in English, please.
Chinese.
You have to translate them.
So what you will do is that take the notes, you burn them, and then you put the water and drink. Also can help you to remember.
Right. This is our standard C96.
You can
Or-
also stack it as below, then you sleep on it.
I don't want. I think that's
Osmosis.
easier.
Or what you can do is that you actually put in a pot,
Uh.
boil it, 3 cups of water to 1 cup of water, you drink it. Also can help.
No lah. Modern way.
Ah.
You record everything. I every night brainwash. Okay, I treat it like a white noise.
Yeah. So in summary, seeing feng shui is not going to give you a perfect world.
Mm.
Scientifically, if you know that's the Tai Chi.
Mm.
Tai Chi is not perfect as well because it's balance between the black and the white.
Mm.
And
Correct.
there's a white dot in the black
Yeah.
sphere, and then there's a black dot in the white sphere.
Correct.
Right? So it's never perfect.
But it's
Okay.
balance and
It's
harmony.
balance.
And it's precisely each other that shows the black from the white and white from black.
That's how you say. You know, you must have down to appreciate the ups
Yeah.
and likewise.
So,
Yeah.
so when you say why I meet these type of people, ask the question yourself. What have you done to attract such people?
Oh, I attracted a few masters leh. In just 3 years.
You also
Probably it's
attracted
we
them.
attracted you. It's another way around.
Attraction of 被骗。师傅我
Some
always
hates
say
it, some hates it.
I think it's time for.
I'm hungry.
So again, when you're complaining, you know, I think this is important. When someone looks to me and says, you know, Master, I get to see you. With a fortune to see you. We obviously have a certain fees.
Yeah, monetary constraint.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but we spoke to you
Yeah.
for analysis, and then you have enlightened me on all things.
Mm.
But my life is still
Terribly
terrible.
and sucks.
It sucks.
Mm.
What should I do to improve? Or how can I do to improve? Doctors will tell you the first thing that helps you to improve or regain back your health is not the medicine. It's mentally you decided that you want to improve. You want to recover.
Lifestyle change.
It's all here. So you say, why people are treating me like that? Why am I?
I have to fork out this kind of money.
Yeah.
I cannot find this
What
money.
happened? What happened? It's all here.
Then end up it's a vicious cycle. They
Then-
never get out.
Then you say, wow, when you see feng shui, just be strong in mind. Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Or self-help books.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Uh.
The thing is that they also will tell you to find a good environment. Can you tell me, can you try to read a nice novel or nice book in a discotheque?
No way.
Lights are dim, or in fact, it's just all over the kind of lights, you know, that give you giddiness. The loud. Can you really read a textbook? Exactly, you can't. You still need to find the right environment.
To add on what Master KK said, right? When you change your mindset, you have a strong mind, you win half the battle. But feng shui is a tool. So you need a tool, right, to win the other half of the battle.
I totally agree with what you said.
Yeah.
明白。
I totally agree.
Because you need 工具 to really go and do something. Cannot be always bare hand to do something.
Feng Shui is a tool. Please do not let the tools dictate your life.
Don't be a slave to it.
Don't be a slave to it. Exactly. Changing, tilting the stove and then creating problems for you to cook is going to ruin the cuisine.
Yeah, and my happiness cooking it.
Yeah. It is not going to improve your life. So do not let Feng Shui dictate your life. Okay? And if you let Feng Shui dictate your life, there's no wisdom.
Untuk understand.
So lunch on you.
Lunch on me?
Thanks, Andy.
No problem.
谢谢老板。
谢谢我的老板。
What?
Of course what? I will just pay accordingly and then I just slip into it.
The petty cash. Bloody hell.
还有，我老板给我的嘞。I think
Not much left.
天哪，
对啦，去吃啦，去吃。
就这了。
Okay.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Bye.